Now, so speaking of Nigeria, we do have my guest still online about to give us what's happening, especially we're celebrating Democracy Day in Nigeria, and we also want to see how the capital market has performed under Tinubu's watch. So we're going to be bringing on Mrs. Davina Adeniyi. She's the CEO and also the Executive Director of Best Worth Assets and Trust Limited. Good afternoon, ma'am. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon and happy Democracy Day.
Happy Democracy Day to you. It's a big day today. It's a big deal for the country. We celebrate this 1 year, marking 1 year in office. And what better way to assess its performance in 1 year than checking in on the capital market? How would you say the market has fared under Tinubu, especially with businesses facing high cost of borrowing, high cost of importation, and FX liquidity tightness?
Okay, well, I would say that right after the immediate takeoff of this particular regime at the beginning, there appeared to have been a very positive effect of some of the policies that were taken off under this new regime at the beginning. Basically because some of the policies were positively interpreted in the market. First, you had a situation where they announced merging of the forex markets, and then there was a subsidy removal, and then of course there was proper pricing of the power sector, and then of course that immediately had a positive effect on the equity markets, and the exchanges immediately started interpreting, and the market was booming. More investors were coming in, both Nigerians in diaspora, local investors. Everybody was happy that there was a positive effect based on the policies. But however, we now notice that towards the middle of maybe after about 6 months or thereabouts, there appeared to have been a kind of slowdown in the interpretation and, of course, the reaction of investors. Negative in the sense that we'll notice that some of the monetary policies had a negative effect on the pricing. For example, you find a situation where, because of the fact that there was a new monetary policy introduced, you find out that yes, in fact, the policy was supposed to have positively had a kind of immediate slowdown on the inflation rate. But however, we then noticed that because of some of those announcements, there appeared to have been a shift of investment from the equity into the fixed income market. Of course, those monetary policies had a way of increasing the interest rate. Treasury bills, bonds, every one of them, kept on increasing. You had increase from about 10% when the regime started, to what it is today. We are looking at almost 20% interest rates in the fixed income. Of course, that would naturally affect the equities. So we find all the funds moving away from the equity market into the fixed income. However, we would not say that it totally had an all negative effect on the capital market, because of course you find a situation where our capital market has two windows. We have the window for equity, and then we have the window for fixed income. For example, even in our own market, you have windows where you could trade your fixed income transactions. However, the equity aspect of the capital market, has been negatively, I would say, affected.
We're running out of time, but before I let you go, could you just tell us what stocks investors at the NESD are trading right now?
Okay, well, at the NESD, we have one of the best and the most sought for is the Aradel. Next, you have the Central Securities Clearing System stock, and then, of course, the NESD itself. And then, of course, you have stocks like WAMCO, but most highly sought for is the Aradel. And of course, you find a situation where, of course, because Aradel price has been on the increase, ever booming and ever increasing, investors have this very strong appetite for Aradel at the moment.
Very interesting there. We've seen Aradel move from about 197 naira at the start of the year to about over 4,000 naira at the close of yesterday. It's been astronomical, that pace it's been moving. And it also had plans to list on the NGX. We'll see how that plays out for investors and how they want to manage all that. Well, we'll keep watch. Thank you so much, Mrs. Davina Adeniyi, Executive Director, Best Words. Assets and
Welcome.
Trusts Limited. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.